Hello, internet fans. It's your old pal Rottin Roger DeMarco here from 3bproductionco.com. This video, I wanted to do something a little bit different. See if you guys dig this type of thing. I want to run through all of my Blu-rays that I've had autographed. See what you guys think of that. If you like that, I'll do my DVDs, my 8x10s, my posters, all that jazz. I know a lot of people are big into getting 8x10 signed, and I kind of went through that phase for a long time. Now I really like having my movies signed so I can have them face out on my shelves, kind of give it that old video store look, how certain videos were faced out at the video store just to kind of catch your eye. So that's what I've been doing in my collection. So I was gonna run these by you, let you check out a couple of them. First up is my Basket Case Trilogy Steelbook, signed on the inside by Kevin Van Hentenryck, the star of the Basket Case Trilogy. Super awesome dude, I love this set. Next is a little indie film called Bone Hill Road, made by director Todd Sheets, local to our area. Linnea Quigley was in the film, and we went to the premiere and got to meet Linnea, so I had Linnea Quigley sign this. Sweet little indie werewolf flick. Next up, Chillerama, signed by Adam Green and Joe Lynch. And Joe Lynch signed this as his film alter ego, Fernando Fagabifi, which is fucking glorious. I actually really like this movie. There's maybe one segment that I don't care a great deal for, but as a whole, this movie's awesome. Next is the out-of-print Anchor Bay awesome Blu-ray of Dawn of the Dead, signed by Ken Foree. If you know this movie, then you know that this movie is where I got my stage name from. I love this movie, so he signed my autograph, somebody to look up to, and it's awesome. Next is my Day of the Dead Blu-ray, signed by Bub the Zombie himself, Howard Sherman. Great, great movie. Awesome to have his signature on there, right next to the picture of him. Fucking love it. Next on my list is my Evil Dead 2 Blu-ray, signed by good old reliable Jake, Danny Hicks, signed by Ted Raimi, and signed by Cassie DePavia. Fucking love this movie, and it would be a sin not to have it all tagged up. And especially Ted Raimi's signature there in the red just kind of blends right into the artwork. It's awesome. This is expensive. This was an expensive Blu-ray. Totally worth it though. Next on the list, Blu-ray of Freddy vs. Jason, signed by Jason stunt double Douglas Tate, and signed by the man who replaced Kane Hodder, Ken Kersinger himself. Next on the list, Friday the 13th remake, signed by Derek Mears, the coolest dude in the history of dudes. He is so much fun. He loves kids. He kind of got a kick out of us and our fanboyism. Can't have this movie not signed by Derek Mears. It would be a sin. Friday the 13th Blu-ray, signed by Robbie Morgan. Not the first victim in Friday the 13th, because that's the two kids at the beginning getting killed, but she is the third victim. Kind of sets the stage, sets the tone. She's kind of like the Janet Leigh of this movie. Friday the 13th Part 2, signed by the late, great King of Baghead, Steve Dash. Met him a few years ago. It was amazing. Him and my son really took a liking to one another, and I made him sign a ton of shit. He was the man, and he will be missed. So, had to have him sign this. There's gonna be a lot of nexts on this video. Frozen, another one of my all-time favorite films, signed by Adam Green himself. The Rob Zombie Halloween. Gets a lot of hate. That's neither here nor there. Sometimes I like this movie, sometimes I don't like this movie. But, so yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with this film. The signatures on here are Tyler Mane, who played Michael Myers, Scout Taylor Compton, who is the new Laurie Strode, and up in the corner, Leslie Easterbrook. Even though she's not in this cut of the film and they unjustly cut her scene in the film, they were transporting Michael to a different hospital and he kills them all and breaks free, which is a way better escape than the rape escape. I've always liked that one, so I had to have her sign it. Adam Green's Hatchet, and signed by Adam Green. I love this franchise. I'll fight to the death about this franchise, so of course had to have him sign it. And the follow-up, Hatchet 2, signed by Adam Green again. Every time you cross paths with him, you gotta have him sign something, and I kind of took everything that he's ever done. Adam Green is one of those guys that really understands the fans, cares about the fans, sits and shoots the shit with you forever, and does not charge for autographs, which I know people get bent out of shape that actors charge 20 bucks for a signature, or, you know, clear up to 50. But listen, you know, they're not working. So of course, like, that is their job at that moment. They are working there, so they have to make money somehow. So I totally get the charging for autographs, and I never have an issue with that. But Adam is one of those guys who will just sit and sign everything you have for free because he appreciates you. He's truly grateful for having fans. Next is this is a gnarly little film that I backed on Kickstarter, so I got this copy, and it's signed by the lead actor and signed by the director. This is not a fun movie. This is a nasty, nasty, violent film, but if you haven't seen it and you're into that kind of stuff, you should definitely check this out. It's pretty rad. We gotta go with Holliston, signed by Adam Green and Joe Lynch. You know, more Adam Green stuff, more Joe Lynch stuff. What can you do? Holliston, season 2, because Adam Green and Joe Lynch. And also, David Naughton from American Werewolf in London signed this because he's in one of the episodes. I really enjoyed the episode with him, and I took 2 different things for David Naughton to sign, but had to have him on this because if you guys haven't seen Holliston, it's one of the things that I've recommended on this channel. Really do yourselves a favor and check out Holliston if you're into horror comedy. You want like a sitcom like Big Bang Theory, but for horror nerds, this is it. Swindled, bamboozled, hoodwinked. Next is, I don't want to say nothing bad, Land of the Dead, which is a movie I really like, signed by Big Daddy Eugene Clark. It was expensive. That's all I'm going to say about it. It was expensive. It's a fun movie. Nothing against it. I love Romero. I love the stuff in this film. I love the themes in this film. But I wasn't going to not have the lead zombie sign this film. It just cost me. Next in the stack, Joe Lynch's Mayhem, signed by Joe Lynch. If you have not seen, you have got to run out and see this movie. Wild. This is like coked up Belko experiment. You have to see it. Next on the list is the immortal classic, Night of the Demons, signed by Lipstick Titty herself, Linnea Quigley. Boom. And no, not boo, boob. Put a B at the end of that, boob. Bam. She's awesome. She was a sweetheart. She was another one, signing autographs for free, being glad to have fans hanging out. So of course I had to have this signed. I love this movie. I just recommended this on the channel. This is like my all-time favorite zombie film other than the original Dawn of the Dead. This is signed by Bill Moseley, Tom Savini, Billy Butler, and Tony Todd. Every time I see that someone from this film is gonna be there, I drag this out and get some more signatures on it, even if it is the Twilight Time Blu-ray, which I'm aware the transfer is not that good, which is sad because every time I want to watch this film, I just go back to that DVD because I have not picked up a different Blu-ray of it. Even though this is in HD, the color is a little wonky, so I always go back to that DVD, but boy, she looks pretty on the outside. And next is Shocker, one of the greatest films ever made. I defend this movie all the time. I fucking love this movie. I wish this movie would have turned into a franchise. And this is signed by Mitch Pileggi himself, Horace Pinker. Gorgeous on there with the fucking purple. I love this movie. Guys, if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor. Run out and check it out. But yeah, got to cross paths with him 2 years ago. Got this signed, and man, it looks nice. Next on the list is Sleepaway Camp. Awesome. Signed to us by Felissa Rose. Angela from Sleepaway Camp. She's a sweetheart. She is probably one of the nicest celebrities that I've ever met. She really cares about her fans. She's always super positive. Her and my wife actually became decent friends. Next is independent director. I'm gonna fuck up saying her last name. I'm just gonna call her Jill Six. She is an indie director out of Kansas City. This is one of her new shorts, The Stylist. Of course I had to pick it up, had to show some support for the local horror community. This is great. If you haven't seen this, there are ways to check this out. Definitely look into this. Next is my Arrow Fat Daddy. Look at this fucking edition of Texas Chainsaw 2. Signed by Bill Johnson, Leatherface, and by Carolyn Williams, Stretch. I'll just go like this. Boom. Look at this artwork and look at all of the stuff that comes with this. Comes with a book, comes with tons of special features. I don't even know if this is in print anymore. I love this movie. And next is another Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw 3D, which I know a lot of people hated. It's definitely got issues, you know, but it's fun. It's a popcorn movie that's just silly, and I can enjoy that for what it is. So when Dan Yeager was going to be at Crypticon, I had to take this and get this signed, and actually got to hang out with Dan a little bit, go to breakfast with him, and pick his brain about cinema. He's not like what you would expect a guy who played Leatherface would be like. He's extremely intelligent, really knows his cinema, which gave me a whole new appreciation for this film, and that's what's awesome about conventions. I'm gonna go off on a tangent. This movie was like kind of at the bottom of my list, and then I got to meet him, hear about the stuff that he's into, and hear about little in-depth things about making this movie, but more so just about the person that he is. And then like when you become friendly with these people, that makes you really respect their body of work a lot more. This is in constant rotation despite some of the glaring flaws with this film, because it's just fun. Next is one of my favorite films in the world, They Live, signed by Meg Foster. I don't want to get emotional about this, but crossing paths with her, and then we had like a very strange, like warm embrace. She came around the table and she grabbed me by the face and we started crying together, talking about Rowdy Roddy Piper, and it was, I wish to God we would have gotten a picture of it, because it was probably like the coolest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. We're like hugging and bawling about Rowdy Roddy Piper and just this movie in general. This movie is so ahead of its time, and I could talk about this movie for years, but meeting Meg Foster was a bucket list thing for sure. She could not be a sweeter person, guys. So if you get the chance to meet her, do that, please. Next on the list is this wicked little movie that apparently not a lot of people know about, but that's okay, because I'm here to spread the Lyme disease, if you will, about this fun little nasty flick called Ticks. I had it signed by Robert Kurtzman, who did the effects in this movie. And he didn't even know this existed on Blu-ray, which fucking blew my mind. So he was looking it all over and asking me how the transfer was and stuff. If you haven't seen this movie, this is one that I urge you to check out. It's on Amazon Prime for free right now. But meeting Robert Kurtzman, he is another one of those guys, completely down to earth, loves his fans. Chances are you've seen 100 movies that you didn't even know he had his hand in the effects, and he's incredible. Super talented dude, great guy. I had him sign a shitload of things. Most of them are DVDs, so I'll get to that in another video if you guys like, but Ticks, it's up there for me. Next is not a horror film, and I don't care. This is one of my all-time favorite films. Defend this film till the day that I die. Whenever I'm working out or whatever, this used to be my treadmill movie. This movie clocks in at just under 3 hours, somewhere around there, this cut. So I would watch this film and run on the treadmill and be like, I'm a badass. I'm a fucking badass. I am Achilles. I'm a badass. And also, Tyler Mane, who played Michael Myers in the Halloween remake, plays Ajax. And so when I got to meet Tyler Mane, I got to tell him about how important this film is to me and how this movie like motivates me to exercise and work out and weird things like that. So, you know, had to have him sign it. Not horror, but it's awesome. If you're into movies like this and you want blood and guts and tits and Brad Pitt glistening in the sun, slaughtering Eric Bana, yeah, check it out. It's awesome. You don't know about that mythology? You should watch this. Read up on it. I don't know. And last but not least is this awesome little movie called Without Warning. I have a soft spot for this movie. Kevin Peter Hall, who went on to play the Predator, plays the alien in this movie. Sadly, he passed away, but I got to meet Graydon Clark, the director of this film, and talk to him about how much I really like this movie and how it flies under the radar. It doesn't get the respect that it deserves. So I got to have Graydon Clark sign this. He signed a handful of other DVDs that I will get to in another video. But if you haven't seen this, you really need to see this. Graydon Clark is one of those guys. He's very much like a Roger Corman, but one that never really got the respect that he deserved. He was, you know, a shoestring budget type of filmmaker who would literally mortgage his house, raise this finite amount of money, and put everything that he had into making one of these movies. Fingers crossed that he would turn a profit just enough to do it all over again. And that story is incredible to me. You know, put everything on the line to make something. And I got to pick his brain about the film industry. And this movie means a lot to me. Just his signature and everything. It's important. It's important to see. So yeah, that's my stack of Blu-rays that I have signed throughout the years, and obviously I will make more of these because we attend conventions a lot. So yeah, comment down below if you enjoy this type of video, you want to see more of my collection. I'm always happy to share it with you guys. Let me know in the comments what stuff you have signed, or celebrities that you've met at conventions, and some of your personal experiences meeting some of these people or other people. I love it. I absolutely love conventions. I love the horror community. You guys are fantastic. And I couldn't do this without you guys. But I suppose I should probably get going, because after all, it's a lot of movies out there and somebody's got to watch them. So why not me, right? I'm sitting down, so I can't leave. We'll just fade this fucker out.